Peace world, I'm back with another final say. So today's topic, I want to get into unconditional love and commitment. So when you in a relationship, and I don't just mean a marriage or it's your man or it's your woman, when you're in a relationship with anything in your life, that could be you could be in a relationship with your spirituality. Stay committed. Stay showing yourself that you're gonna unconditionally love what you do, and you're gonna love the fact that you're getting deeper into your spirituality, or deeper into your religion, or deeper into your diet, or deeper into your finances, or deeper into your wardrobe, or just anything that you into. When it's unconditional, you don't allow other things to stop that. So if you are in a relationship, if you are in a marriage, hypothetically speaking, don't allow another woman to contradict the way that you're gonna love your husband, or the way that you're gonna love your wife. Don't let another man contradict the way that you're gonna love your husband, or you're gonna love your wife. You love your husband or your wife unconditionally, despite what your job may tell you, or despite what your coworkers may tell you, or despite what your deacon or your pastor or your doctor or your sister or your brother or your mother or anybody's gonna tell you. So one of those vows are for sickness or for worse, or for better or for worse, or for richer or for poor. So when you're doing these things unconditionally, that means if you got with the person and they was a millionaire and now they flat broke, now your unconditional love and the character with that love will really be tested, because they don't have money now. Or they was healthy as an ox, and now they're not healthy no more. Now that love or that unconditional love will come into play. That commitment will come into play, because now you got to be there for them, because maybe their vision is deteriorating, or their hearing is deteriorating, or they're not able to walk the same way, or they're not able to speak the same way, or they don't have the same amount of strength, or they had a heart attack, or they had a stroke, or they caught cancer, or whatever it is. Now that unconditional love and that commitment will really be tested. So now that other person really get to see how committed you really was, how unconditional you really was willing to love them. Now they really can see that, instead of they seeing it, and now you had an argument and you don't want to love the person, or you don't want to be there for the person, or the person couldn't spend X amount of dollars. So now you're saying, oh, you thinking, or you believing that they don't love you unconditionally, because maybe you wanted them to spend $1,000 on something, they only could spend $500. Or maybe you wanted them to buy X amount of food, and they like, nah, we're going to try to eat healthy this month. Or now we're going to try to do this time around. And you thinking they don't love you because they don't want you drinking soda. Or you thinking they ain't fully committed to you because they don't want you, consuming a lot of salt. Or maybe you thinking they love ain't unconditional because now they challenge you to become a better version of yourself. Or they holding you to a higher standard. Or they holding you to better expectations. So now you believing they don't love you unconditionally no more. Or they're not fully committed. No, maybe they just want to see you become a better version of yourself. So maybe if you are on a diet, maybe they challenging you now to stay committed to that diet for another 2 days, or another 2 hours, or another 2 months, or another 2 years, or however, whatever the situation is. But that don't mean because they challenging you, that don't mean that they don't love you. Or just because they want to see you do something better, or they want to see you do something a little bit more, that don't mean they don't love you, or that don't mean that the love is not unconditional. Maybe they doing that so they could show you how they really love you, and it's no limit to it, or they showing you how they fully committed to you, and there's no conditions to that commitment at the end of the day. Because a lot of times we believe, or we think, when somebody love us, that they only love us because they're willing to do things that we deem or we see that we want them to do. Sometimes they love us and they have to challenge us in ways that we don't want to be challenged. Or they love us and they loving us in ways that we don't think we could be loved. Or they respecting us in ways that we don't see that we need to be respected. Or they committed to things that we don't think we need to be committed to, and so on and so forth, and so on and so forth. So you have to look at that on that level, instead of just looking at it from your perspective, because your perspective is your perspective. The way you see things is the way you see things. That don't mean that your husband gonna see it that way, or your wife gonna see it that way, or your son gonna see it that way, or your daughter gonna see it that way, or your job gonna see it that way, or your boss, or if you own a business, your coworkers, or people that you have that business with, and so on and so forth. They may just be challenging you, but that still can be unconditional love. That still can be unconditional commitment, because they just challenging you to do better. They challenge you so they can see you gain more, so they can see you get more, so they can see you be more happier, so they can see you display that unconditional love back to them, because they may get in that situation, and you may be now, from them showing you how committed they are unconditionally, for them showing you how much love they have for you unconditionally. Now, when it's your goal to show them back, maybe now, because they did to you, you know how to show them back, to be there for them if they got sick, or if they got broke, or if they got on a diet, or if they lost their job, or if they lost a loved one, or if they lost a mother or father. Now, you could show them, being that they showed you, how you gonna be there for them if they lost their mom, or if they lost their dad, or if they lost their job, or if they don't have the same amount of money they had, or if they gotta enhance their wardrobe, or they on a diet, or whatever the circumstance or the situation may be. Now you can show them, look, I'm here for you all the way. I'm fully committed to you. This is what I'm gonna do, and you can't worry about what somebody else is gonna tell you how to be committed or how to unconditionally love somebody. Like, when you're learning something and you're doing something, people are going to challenge that, but that don't mean you have to feed into the way that they want you to feed into it. People have told me all the time that I'm not fully committed to the path that I'm on with my spirituality. I'm not going to argue with them. You know what I'm going to do, though? I'm going to show myself that I'm fully committed to where I'm going with my spirituality, that I'm fully committed to bringing the right energy to my clients, that I'm bringing the right energy to my podcast, that I'm bringing the right energy in any walks of life that I'm in at the end of the day. But I don't have to prove to them that I'm fully committed to anything. If they don't think I am, that's what they believe, no problem. But I know at the end of the day, if they really paying attention the way that I know that I'm going to pay attention, they're going to see it. And when they see it, I'm going to tell them, you know what, I'm glad you took some time to pay attention to see that I was fully committed to this. And vice versa, same thing with me. Just because I don't see something in somebody, that don't mean they're not fully committed. That don't mean it's not unconditional. Just because I don't see it don't mean that it's not true. Somebody can have a platform on the internet, and just because they don't post videos every day or every week or every month, that don't mean they're not committed to their own platform. They committed the way they committed. They gonna put that unconditional work in the way they gonna put it, but they don't have to show me that, oh, I'm gonna post videos every day to show people that I'm committed to what I'm doing. No, they have their own method and their own way of showing themselves that they committed, or they have that other person that's in their life that they're gonna show that they're committed to, whether that's a coworker, whether that's their husband, whether that's their wife, whether that's their kids, whatever that is. They got ways of showing people that they committed, and it's unconditional, and it's unconditional love. But we want to always prove to other people how we committed to something, and those people, I'm not saying they're not important, but they're not as important to the unconditional love that you may need to show your mother, your father, your husband, your wife, your job, or yourself, in reference to various certain circumstances and situations. Excuse me. So at the end of the day, that becomes important, and that's what we got to start paying attention to, and that's what we got to look at. And like I said, I will be creating some more parts to this. So at the end of the day, I would appreciate it if this resonated with you, that you drop a comment or you drop a like. And if you just stumbled upon a video, subscribe. Peace, world.